Morning peeps, good morning everyone, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I'm still not over the weekend, you know. I'm not at all. I probably watched that fight 5 or 6 times in full. I've watched round 9 about 100 times. I'm not even playing. I've watched it and watched it. And how Tyson Fury doesn't get knocked out in round 9 is beyond me. I know some will say the ropes kept him up, but I'm talking about getting knocked out because he is getting lit up. Honestly, and Usyk is sitting on these shots, by the way. He is throwing those with mean intentions. He probably landed 7 or 8, big shots. And Tyson Fury took him. He took him. I know he's wobbling around the ring, but I was thinking he was going to get face planted. And he didn't. Look, credit to both, you know. Credit to both. I know Oleksandr Usyk will rightly so get all the plaudits, right? Rightly so. Undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight. People like him as well. Pound for pound #1, an all-time great now. Rightly so, everything should be on him, right? We should crown him. But let's not sleep on Tyson Fury as well. It takes 2 to tango. And it was an incredible fight week, people. Incredible. And then it delivered. You can have all that shit, right? You can have all the fight week, all the interviews, all the controversy. You can have all that. And then it can be flat. These boys got in the ring and they fucking went for it. And honestly, something special. Something I'm never, ever going to forget. I'm going to frame that photo of me interviewing Oleksandr Usyk. I've got to get that framed. I've got to get it framed because that's a special moment. All right, let's see if there is any other news apart from Fury Usyk. I doubt it because, again, everyone's still talking about it. And like I predicted, Fury too flawed for all-time greatness, but perfectly flawed for fan friendliness. I'm not sure about that last sentence, perfectly flawed for fan friendliness, but I agree about him being maybe too flawed for all-time greatness, or at least, not necessarily I agree, but he's not an all-time great is what I'm getting at. Look, I've always said, I think Fury, and I think maybe people have kind of misunderstood, I've always said I think Tyson Fury can compete with any heavyweight. His size, his movement, his arrogance, his confidence, those things, by the way, those last 2 things are quite important. But he's got every attribute, I think, to compete with any heavyweight in any era. Will he beat all of them? I don't know. But he's got every attribute. The reason he won't be an all-time great is because, unlike the all-time greats, he just doesn't have enough on that resume. It's that simple. Just doesn't have enough. I mean, how many can get in the all-time greatness? I mean, are we stretching it to 20, to 30, to 40? For me, all-time great heavyweight is probably only reserved for 10 heavyweights, and he just doesn't get in that because, again, the CV just isn't thick enough. Now, if he beat Oleksandr Usyk on the weekend, then I guess you have to have that conversation because he's now undisputed, but he didn't. So yeah, I think he just misses out on the all-time great conversation. Look, he's 35. I mean, there are fights out there for him to become an all-time great. The Get Back, AJ fight, maybe some young kids coming up, so we can maybe revisit this conversation in 3 or 4 years and see where he is. But right now, no, he isn't an all-time great. Hamza Shiraz's sparring partner predicts that Williams will fall inside 3. No chance. No chance. Fucking hell, that is coming up. 5 versus 5. I fly out to Riyadh on Sunday. It's crazy, right? That's almost just been forgotten as well because of the Undisputed. It's a shame that it wasn't kind of flipped because Undisputed really should have ended Riyadh season. And now that there's no Bivol Beterbiev, it kind of feels like it's weird for Riyadh season to end on the 5 versus 5. But look, once we get there, we'll go again and hopefully it'll be fun. But as for Shiraz knocking out Williams inside 3, I just can't see it. I can't see it. Promoter Krasiuk dismisses Usyk broken jaw fears. Yeah, I didn't think this was true either. Bear in mind, it was your boy that interviewed him, and I know he was running on adrenaline, but I would have been able to see if this guy's jaw was broken just by the way he would have spoken. I think he just got hit a lot. He got hit a lot. It was probably a bit swollen. Tyson Fury cracked him, you know. Tyson Fury cracked Usyk with an uppercut in round 5 or 6, which would have done quite a lot of damage. That was the most I've ever seen Usyk hurt, I think, in a fight. Where I was actually thinking Fury could have got him out of there. So maybe it was just a case of he was just shattered and slightly bruised and injured from the fight. Dave Coldwell admits Tony Bellew comeback was on, but only for Rosansky. Yeah, it was. Me and Tony were speaking about this quite a lot. I was encouraging him to do it. I said it would have been a massive fight, you know, a kind of a Rocky story, him coming back to become world champion in another weight class. Obviously, Okoli's got that opportunity now. That fight is this Saturday, I think, or Sunday. Sky are only showing Okoli Rosansky. Look, to be honest with you, I think Bridget should be scrapped. It's a useless division. That's my own opinion on it. If Okoli does win, immediately vacate and go to heavyweight. Like, if every other sort of sanctioning body isn't getting behind it, it's literally only the WBC. So what's the point of it? And we are seeing cruiserweights jump, obviously Usyk being the big one, jump straight to heavyweight and do some damage. So scrap it, useless division, no point in it. Josh Taylor promises to destroy Jack Catterall following terrible first fight. Again, this is a fight. If there was no Saturday happening, or no Saturday that just happened, we would be so behind this. I almost feel like this has almost been lost in what has become an incredible boxing year. Like, Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall is a big fight. It really is. It's a big fight, right? I mean, I think they've sold 12,000 at the first direct, which I think is close to a sellout. People are very interested in it. Some good undercard fights as well. Chef Clark versus Ellis Zorro for the British title, I believe. Or is it the English title? I don't know, but there's a title. So it's a good one, but it's almost, again, being lost in what has been just a chaotic, busy year. I think Josh Taylor will be a lot better. I think people who are writing Josh Taylor as being done, writing him off, I think you're going to be surprised. I think Catterall is going to be good as well. It's a pick 'em fight. It's a pick 'em fight. And look, the winner of this one should look at the 140-pound division and think there's something out there for the winner. Something out there for the winner. I think it's open. I don't think there is a clear number one. I think a lot of people will maybe point into Devon as the number one, but obviously we also happened with Devon and Ryan. Teofimo Lopez fights the end of June, I believe. Maybe he's now number one. Matthias fights in June as well, I think. So there are opportunities out there to get big fights, to get belts. But it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I'm so on the fence with this fight. I have no idea how it plays out, but we'll see. Joe Cordina plans to move up in weight after shocking loss to Kakachi. Yeah, Saturday was full of shocks, right? Full of things like Caballero beating Sanchez. That round 9, Fury Usyk was a shock. But Joe Cordina getting stopped by Kakachi is the biggest shock for me. It was like, what? Didn't expect it. Kakachi, very good, but Joe Cordina, very special, right? I mean, good fighter. But the way he got face planted, like how the fuck he got up from that, I have no idea. But then he just kept on getting lit up, like everything. Like, he landed, by the way, Joe Cordina had his moments, but nothing seemed to phase Kakachi. He was just walking through like a man possessed. It was insane, honestly insane. As for the move up to lightweight, look, the good thing for him is that there are actually some easy fights to make, I think. Maxi Hughes is an easy fight to make. George Kambosos could be an easy fight to make. Those are all, or those two fighters are at least are guys that are kind of floating, I think, just outside the top 10 in the lightweight division. And if you're Joe, that's where you should be aiming to see if you really can compete in this division. Max Hughes isn't a big lightweight, I think. George Kambosos is a little bigger, but he's not one of the biggest either. So I think those are your two starting points, and then we'll see what happens. But look, both of those guys are coming off losses, so they need the win as well. So it should be fun fights to make. Carl Frampton, Fury threw victory away. He can beat Usyk in a rematch. Okay, the last bit I agree with. He can beat Usyk in a rematch. I really do believe that, people. The first bit I don't agree with. A few people have been saying this, that Fury's showboating was the reason he allowed Usyk back into the fight. Like, there was a time when Fury hurt Usyk, and rather than showboat, he should have maybe stepped on the gas a little bit. For me, the thing that allowed Usyk back in the fight is the punch that Usyk landed, which caused Fury's nose to kind of bleed immediately. I thought it was a broken nose, but it wasn't. That's what got Usyk back into the fight, not Fury showboating to open a door. It was Usyk landing big shots that got Usyk back into the fight. So yeah, I'm not having he threw it away. That's what Fury does. Fury showboats. When Fury is confident, I actually think that's the best Fury, when he's got his hands behind his back and he's in full sort of Fury entertainer mode. That's probably the best Fury. Was it maybe a bit silly and premature to do it against Usyk, knowing there's still 6 rounds to go? Yeah. but that's Fury. So yeah, I don't agree with that. I almost feel like that's taken away from the brilliance of Oleksandr Usyk. Like for him to claw that back, like watching that fight back now, the first 6 rounds I had it 4-2 Fury, especially with that good. I can't remember if it was round 5 or 6, but he had a really good round, and I was like, oh my god, Fury's just too big, too strong here. Usyk found something. He found something big. Like he dug deep to find something, and I think he had that really good round 8. I think it was a really good round 8 where I was like, okay, this is a comeback round. That has nothing to do with Fury showboating. That is all to do with Usyk being that special that he found something that he needed. He went into a reserve, went into all that back catalogue of wins and just experience, and bang. That's what it was. That's what it was. I get Catell. I hate trash talk. We will see who is next. Man, this guy's on a run. He's on a run. Like Catell, like if you were to do your heavyweight 1 to 5, let me see if I can get Catell in there. So it is Usyk. It still is Fury. Man, I'll tell you something now, yeah. There is a great argument to say it's Joseph Parker above AJ. In fact, I'm going to do that. On a case of what have you done for me lately, Joseph Parker's beaten Deontay Wilder. And by the way, I think AJ will beat Parker, but this is just my rankings. Parker's beaten Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang. You have to be number 3. You have to be. I'll go AJ 4. And then Catell, I think. Has anyone got anyone else? Am I missing someone else obvious? I don't think I am. I think Catell is the 5th best heavyweight. Like, surely. He's beaten Makhmudov. Okay, Makhmudov really was a bit of a hype job, maybe. Frank Sanchez wasn't. He beat him. And he's not just beating them. It's not like he's doing this fucking split decision. He's beating them and stopping them. So, yeah, I think he's on a roll right now. And as for who next, it probably is going to be Joseph Parker. I think AJ will fight the winner of Hrgovic Dubois. It depends if other belts get scattered. I don't think they will. But if other belts get scattered, surely Catell versus Joseph Parker's for a world title. Surely. See, that alone, all these belts getting scattered shows you how special Saturday was, where finally we had all the belts on one platform, one opportunity. It doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen. Wow. Vladimir Klitschko hails undisputed heavyweight king Oleksandr Usyk as the best fighter in modern history. You know what? I don't know about modern history, but you know, I was talking about Terence Crawford versus Canelo, and that fight being for the fighter of this generation. This generation, I guess, being the last 15, 20 years or whatever. Or maybe your last 15. I don't even know what generation is. Let's say last 15. Oleksandr Usyk might just be the best fighter of this generation and not Canelo or Crawford. It's a tough one, isn't it? Who is the best fighter of this generation? It's a tough one. All right, guys, girls, we are done. More videos about this fight week. I do want to talk about Jao Pataya. I think he really struggled at times against Bradis. Looked good, but really struggled. We want to talk about that and a couple other bits as well. We will do videos every single day until we go to Leeds. Peace and love.